3 pickup trucks perfect for retirees that cost almost nothing to maintain. Every retiree who walks onto a dealer lot gets steered toward the wrong truck. 24 years under the hood has taught me which pickups deserve a spot in a retiree's driveway. Today, 3 trucks, the Nissan Titan, the GMC Sierra 1500, and the Jeep Gladiator that cost almost nothing to maintain and treat your knees and your back like they matter. Number 3 is a full-size sleeper nobody cross-shops. Number 2 is the truck GM quietly builds better than anyone credits them for. Number 1 is the truck I'd hand my own father the keys to. Let's get into it. Number 3, Nissan Titan 2016 to 2020. This is the full-size truck that retirees drive right past because Nissan never bothered to market it like a real competitor to the F-150 or the Silverado. That is a shame, because mechanically this thing is one of the most overbuilt trucks in its class. And I mean that as a compliment. Last winter, a retired Army sergeant came into my shop with his wife. He was 68, had a replaced hip, and had been driving a Ford F-150 that needed a $2,600 transmission repair at 96,000 miles. His wife wanted him in something smaller and easier, and she was pushing him hard toward a crossover. He did not want a crossover. He wanted a truck that could still haul his boat trailer to the lake every summer. And honestly, he told me a crossover felt like giving something up. Put him in a 2018 Titan S5 with 58,000 miles for $23,800. 14 months later, he has put 12,000 miles on it. The only thing he has paid for is an oil change and a set of wiper blades. His wife texted me a photo of him backing the boat trailer down the ramp without breaking a sweat, and she added that he had not once complained about his hip on the drive home. That is the whole reason I put this truck on the list, not because it is flashy, but because it lets a guy with a bad hip keep doing the thing he loves without paying for it the next morning. Here is the engineering behind it. The Titan runs the VK56VD, a 5.6-liter naturally aspirated V8, port-injected, not direct-injected, which means no carbon buildup on the intake valves, the way you get with almost every modern direct-injected V8 on the market. It uses a timing chain, not a belt, so there is no scheduled replacement to worry about at 100,000 miles. It is paired to a 7-speed automatic transmission that Nissan borrowed and refined from its Infinity lineup, and I have rarely seen one fail from anything other than total fluid neglect. This is a truck built the old-fashioned way. Big, naturally aspirated engine, simple transmission, nothing clever to break. Nissan even oversized the cooling system and the brakes relative to the truck's actual towing needs, which is exactly the kind of margin you want in a vehicle you plan to keep for the next 15 years without babying it. For a retiree specifically, the Titan's cab is enormous. The doors open, close to 80 degrees, the door sills are low for a full-size truck, and the running boards on the SV and higher trims put the step height right where an aging knee wants it. The seats are wide, flat, and built for long-haul comfort rather than bolstered sport seating, which matters if you are the kind of retiree who drives 4 hours to see grandkids. Visibility out of the cab is excellent too, with a low beltline and thin pillars that Nissan never bothered to redesign, which happens to work heavily in your favor at intersections. RepairPal puts the Titan's annual maintenance cost at around $521, with a 10% probability of a major repair in any given year. Compare that to the Ford F-150, which averages $788 a year, with roughly double the probability of a major repair. That is not a small gap. That is the difference between an oil change budget and a real repair bill showing up every couple of years. Reread that number. 10% versus nearly 20% for the truck most people default to without even shopping around. Pricing on a 2017 to 2019 Titan SV or SL with under 70,000 miles runs $22,000 to $27,000 right now. A comparable Silverado 1500 in the same window runs $23,000 to $29,000, and Chevy's own reliability data shows a higher long-term repair frequency once you cross 80,000 miles, mostly tied to the direct-injected V8 and its known carbon buildup issue. Inspection checklist. First, check the rear differential fluid on four-wheel drive models. Nissan recommends service every 30,000 miles, and almost nobody does it. If it smells burnt,
Budget $150. Second, listen for any whine from the transfer case at low speed. A worn chain inside is a $900 repair, so use it as leverage. Third, check the running boards for rust at the mounting bolts, especially on trucks that spent winters in salt states. It is cosmetic, but it tells you how the truck was cared for. Fourth, ask for maintenance records on the 7-speed transmission specifically. Nissan calls for a fluid service around 60,000 miles, and trucks that skipped it are the only ones I have ever seen with shifting complaints down the road. Who should buy the Titan? Anyone who wants full-size towing capability, a naturally aspirated V8 with a proven track record, and does not care about badge prestige. Anyone who tows a boat, a camper, or a trailer on a regular basis and wants an engine that shrugs off that kind of load year after year. Who should skip it? If you need the absolute best resale value, Toyota and Honda still win that fight, and the Titan's dealer network is thinner than Ford or Chevy's, so parts can occasionally take an extra day. If you rarely tow anything and mostly need a vehicle for errands, a mid-sized truck will save you money at the pump. But mechanically, this is one of the most underrated full-size trucks on the road. Number 2, GMC Sierra 1500 2014 to 2018, specifically the SLT and Denali trims with the 5.3-liter V8. GMC gets treated like Chevy's fancier cousin, and most people assume a Sierra is just a Silverado with extra chrome. Mechanically, that is true, but GMC's trim strategy actually makes this the better retiree pick, and I will explain why in a second. A woman in her early 70s came in 2 years ago driving a 2011 Jeep Grand Cherokee with an air suspension that had failed twice. Her son wanted her in something with more ground clearance for their gravel driveway up north, but she flatly refused anything that felt like a truck, telling me she had spent her whole life avoiding pickups because her late husband's old work truck rode like a wagon full of bricks. I found her a 2017 GMC Sierra SLT with 71,000 miles, heated and ventilated leather seats, and a ride quality that genuinely surprised her on the test drive. She still calls it her car, not her truck, which tells you everything about how GMC tuned the Denali and SLT suspension for comfort over stiffness. 2 years and 19,000 miles later, her only expense has been brake pads and an oil filter housing gasket that GM covered under an extended warranty campaign. She still sends me a photo every time she loads firewood into the bed, like she cannot quite believe she is the kind of person who owns a truck now. The engine is the 5.3-liter Ecotec 3V8, direct injected with active fuel management that shuts down cylinders under light load to save fuel. I know direct injection sounds like it contradicts everything I usually recommend, and I will be honest with you, GM's early Ecotec 3 engines had some carbon buildup complaints. But by the 2016 model year, GM had revised the injectors and the PCV system, and the complaint rate dropped significantly. Stick to 2016 or newer and you avoid almost all of it. It pairs with a 6-speed or 8-speed automatic depending on year, both of which have a strong track record past 150,000 miles with regular fluid changes. I have torn into a handful of these transmissions well past the 150,000 mile mark for unrelated reasons, and the internals looked closer to a truck with half that mileage, provided the fluid was changed on Chevy's severe duty schedule rather than ignored. For accessibility, GMC's Denali and SLT trims come with power running boards on many configurations, which drop down automatically when the door opens and retract when it closes. That is the single best accessibility feature on this entire list. Seat height without the running board deployed is right around 28 inches off the ground, which sounds tall, but the powered step effectively cuts that gap in half. The door openings are wide, and the B-pillar is set back far enough that getting in and out does not require ducking. Repair Pal rates the Sierra and its Silverado twin at 3.5 out of 5 for reliability, with an average annual repair cost of $649. That undercuts the F-150's $788 and comes in well below the segment average major repair probability. Pricing on a 2016 to 2018 Sierra SLT with under 90,000 miles runs $24,000 to $29,000 depending on options.
A comparably equipped Ram 1500 Laramie from the same years runs $23,000 to $28,000, but Ram's electrical gremlins on 2014 through 2019 models push realistic ownership costs higher over a 5-year window, something I have watched play out in my own bay more than once with dead body control modules and finicky touchscreens. Inspection checklist. First, verify the model year is 2016 or newer to sidestep the early Ecotec 3 carbon issues. Second, test the power running boards fully, extending and retracting several times, since the motors can seize if the truck sat outside through a hard winter without use. A replacement motor runs about $350 per side. Third, check the transmission for any hard shifting between second and third gear, a known early symptom of a failing solenoid pack, roughly a $500 fix if caught early. Fourth, have a shop pull the oil for a quick analysis if the truck is over 100,000 miles, since a small percentage of these V8s develop above average oil consumption, and a simple test will tell you in 5 minutes whether you are looking at one of them. Who should buy the Sierra? Anyone who wants a full-size truck that does not feel like a construction vehicle, especially with the powered running boards. Anyone whose spouse or grandkids ride along regularly and would benefit from that easier step in and out on both sides of the cab. Who should skip it? If you are shopping under $20,000, you will be stuck with an older pre-2016 Ecotec 3 engine, and I would steer you toward the Titan instead. If you live somewhere with heavy snowfall every winter, budget for the running board motors to need attention sooner than in a mild climate. But if your budget allows a 2016 or newer Sierra, it is one of the most comfortable, full-size trucks a retiree can own. If this is lining up with what you are looking for, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I put out breakdowns like this every week, and the next one might save you from buying the wrong truck entirely. Number 1, Jeep Gladiator 2020 to present overland or high-altitude trim. I know what some of you are thinking. A Jeep with removable doors does not sound like a retiree's truck. Stay with me, because the Gladiator I am recommending is not the Rubicon your neighbor takes rock crawling. It is the comfort-focused trim, and it might be the single best-kept secret on this entire list. A retired dentist came into my shop 18 months ago. He was 74. Still active, still hauling firewood and hardware store lumber every weekend, but his old Toyota Tundra had gotten physically hard for him to climb into after a knee surgery. He wanted truck capability without the full-size bulk, and his daughter was quietly hoping he would just give up trucks altogether and buy a sedan. I put him in a 2021 Gladiator Overland with 31,000 miles. He still has the doors on year-round, keeps the hardtop in place, and treats it like a normal truck. His words to me were that it is the easiest vehicle he has ever climbed into, and he has owned a lot of vehicles. 6 months later, he called just to tell me he had taken the doors off for the first time in his life on a warm Saturday, and that he felt about 20 years younger driving to the hardware store with the wind coming through the cab. The engine is the 3.6-liter Penta-Ester V6, naturally aspirated, port-injected, with a timing chain, the same well-proven engine family used across the Jeep and Ram lineup for over a decade. It pairs with an 8-speed automatic built by ZF, a German supplier with one of the best reputations in the transmission business, and one that Jeep has tuned conservatively rather than aggressively, which extends its lifespan considerably. There is no turbo, no complicated hybrid system, and no direct injection carbon concerns to track. Jeep also revised the Pentastar's internals starting in 2016 to reduce oil consumption complaints from the earlier version, so a Gladiator built on this later revision inherits a decade of small refinements Fiat Chrysler made before the truck ever existed. Here is the accessibility case that most people overlook. The Gladiator's seat height sits at a moderate 22 inches, and Jeep includes side steps as standard equipment on overland and higher trims, effectively cutting that climb in half. The doors open extremely wide, close to 90 degrees on the front doors, giving you enormous room to swing your legs in and out without twisting your hips. The seating position itself is upright and commanding, which means excellent visibility over traffic, something that matters more the longer you have been driving. Repair Pal data on the Wrangler and Gladiator platform puts annual maintenance costs at approximately $634, with the Pentastar 5X specifically flagged as one of the most dependable engines Jeep has ever fielded. Compare that to a Ram 1500 with the same Pentastar engine, where average annual costs run higher due to more complex body electronics and infotainment issues layered on top of an otherwise identical drivetrain. Pricing on a 2020 to 2022 Gladiator Overland with under 50,000 miles runs $28,000 to $34,000. A comparably equipped Toyota Tacoma TRD Off-Road from the same years runs $30,000 to $36,000, and while the Tacoma has an excellent reputation of its own, it does not offer the Gladiator's open-air flexibility or its removable doors and roof. Features retirees with grandkids consistently tell me they end up using more than they expected. It also does not match the Gladiator's step-in height advantage, since the Tacoma's higher factory ride height without standard side steps makes it a noticeably taller climb for anyone with hip or knee concerns. Inspection checklist. First, check the death wobble recall history. Some early Gladiators had a steering stabilizer issue that Jeep addressed under warranty, and later service bulletins confirm the recall was performed before buying. Second, inspect the hardtop seals for wind noise or water intrusion, since these panels get removed and reinstalled by previous owners more often than any other truck's roof. Third, check the transfer case fluid on four-wheel drive models, since Jeep recommends service every 30,000 miles and it commonly gets skipped. Fourth, check the door hinges and latch mechanisms for looseness, since a truck whose previous owner removed and reinstalled the doors frequently can develop a rattle or a door that does not seal quite right. An easy fix, but worth negotiating on if you find it. Who should buy the Gladiator? Anyone who wants genuine open-air flexibility, easy entry and exit thanks to the standard side steps, and a proven simple drivetrain. Anyone who spends weekends with grandkids and wants a vehicle that feels like an adventure rather than an errand, who should skip it? If you need a fully enclosed, weather-tight cabin every single day with zero exceptions, or if you are hauling heavy loads regularly, the payload capacity is lower than a full-size truck, and you would be better served by the Titan or the Sierra from this list. If you tow more than 5,000 pounds on a regular basis, step up to the Titan. So here's my final word on all three. The Nissan Titan is the overbuilt sleeper nobody cross-shops. The GMC Sierra is the comfort-tuned, full-size truck that outperforms its own reputation. And the Jeep Gladiator is the flexible, easy entry pick that surprises everyone who actually drives one. Any of these three will give a retiree real truck capability without a mechanic's bill waiting around the corner. Get a pre-purchase inspection from an independent shop before you buy any used vehicle, no matter how good the reputation. If this video helped you or someone in your family think through their next truck, hit that like button and subscribe for more breakdowns like this every week. Take care of your truck, and it will take care of you. I will see you in the next one.